Loubna, thank you so much for being with us today. In that regard, up until now, I have learned a lot of things, but I'm curious about one thing. There are a lot of similarities and differences between machine learning and human learning. If I ask you, if you would allow me, what are those differences and similarities in your opinion?
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here and to contribute to this discussion. As Ben said, artificial intelligence is a way to get closer and to understand a bit about how we humans learn, because that's one of the capabilities that are magical. And it's not just capability, but also one of the important needs for us humans, right? That's how we stay excited. That's why we enjoy life. And if we look to artificial intelligence, it has its roots in symbolic logic. That's where it started in the third industrial revolution. And, but now it changed, it made a big shift with machine learning algorithms, the ability that we can run them faster. So it became the science of uncertainty, and I would call it the art of probability, that we learn from probabilities. And in many ways, AI algorithms are very close to the way we learn today as humans. So they learn from the past, from past data. They learn how to adapt to new situations, like self-driving cars, how to, in real time, adapt to a new situation. And that's very close to how we also learn. So we have memories, we have sensors, we can sense the world around us, and we take actions. So that's the similarity bit. And when I hear discussions about AI-powered solutions for healthcare or for automotive, people tell me it should be 100% accurate, an autonomous car. But if we look to our world, uncertainty is everywhere, and a machine cannot give us more certainty than there is in the world. Right. So that's something we need to be aware of. And to link this discussion to education systems, to the K-12 educational model, if you look to that, it's been built to meet the requirements of the old age industrial revolution. It's the first one, is to build a workforce for factories. That's what is our educational system based on. That's why we have a requirement of sit-in time. It's similar to the clock-in, clock-out system of the factories. Actually, if you look to our educational system, it skipped 2 industrial revolutions. The third one, which is linked to the learning by logic, the rule-based evolution, the digital revolution, and it's skipping again the AI revolution, the probabilistic revolution. So we are training children actually today to be working in factories, while we should be training them to meet the digital and the probabilistic revolution of this age. So, and linking this to this discussion,
one will not replace the other, actually. We should learn working together.
Exactly. And that's the key. How we can train the children of today to meet the labor market requirements for the future, where machines will be taking a lot of mundane tasks that we don't have to do. Even my job as a data scientist will be automated. So a lot of jobs will be automated, and we need people with high emotional intelligence. We need people that can articulate to people as well as to machines. We need a doctor that can actually have this empathy feeling and articulate the message in a better way, that can translate a machine-generated message to meet the values of a society, of a Turkish society, of a European society. Right. So actually we need to make the human again, because all this period, what we're doing, we were pulling the humanity back to a sitting chair and say, this is how you should be learning. You should be sitting and listening and following the system. And now it's the time to pull back and to say, okay, how can we give the human being the humanity back? And let the machines do the mundane jobs. Let's work in a synchronized fashion in this society. And projects like Sophia, they are great to demonstrate our capabilities, what we can do with AI. But the key task is how as Ben said, how we can use AI to drive education. How can we use AI to drive healthcare? How can we cure patients? How can we teach children better? And to get there, there is benefits, there is things that we can do with AI, but also there is risks as well.
Not even just learning, but improving abilities. In that regard, it is extremely important, I think.
Yes, absolutely. We can improve abilities. We can individualize learnings because not all children are the same. Our educational system today is assuming that everyone is average and we should teach them in the same way. We can deploy AI to tell us exactly what is each child needs, what is the curriculum that we need to give to that child so he can meet his maximal potential in the future. And to get there, it's not just the school's responsibility. It's schools, businesses together, governments, they need to work together to identify those pain points and say, that's how we use this technology to shape outcomes. And this is how we shape our policy making. It needs to be agile so we can build the generation of the future. So we need to start first and foremost by collecting good quality data. And to make this sustainable, we do need to give the data back to the citizens. We cannot collect data as governments and say, this is our data. So we need to empower the citizen with their data. We need to give them ownership of that data and to collect data at scale. And then we need to choose the right outcomes to drive. What is the outcomes? It's not just STEM, because a lot of STEM tasks will be automated. We need a lot of, I would say, skills. We need to define what is the right outcomes to build those skills. And a lot of those skills are emotional intelligence skills. And the third thing, I think, is to empower people. We don't bypass them. That's very key. Well, let's not think that we can automate everything. No, we can't. We need to empower the child first, the teachers, the parents with this technology. We should not bypass because it's not going to work. Adherence is important, and we need to give the people the power so that they can shape the generation of the future.
Thank you so much. Loubna, you have received the prestigious Innovators Under 35 Award from the MIT Technology Review. What would you suggest other young innovators or candidates to do the same like you?
Thank you. I think there is a big part of it. I'm happy to get this award and also happy with my achievements so far. But I think if I would give a piece of advice, I would say get outside of your comfort zone as a person. And I think big part of that, to get outside of your comfort zone, is to embrace uncertainty. It's similar to artificial intelligence systems. It's not too stuck to a system like schools or like if you go to work for an institution to be following the rules. I think you should always question the status quo and think, how can I do things in a different way? And big part of that starts very early age. I think parents, schools can stimulate that by not being very protective, allowing controlled mistakes along the way so we can learn, so we can excel quickly. I think one of it is that, to get outside of the comfort zone. The second thing is to connect yourself with inspiring people, and that's really important. Maybe at the beginning, you will not be able to meet them face to face. Maybe you will read their books. Maybe you will watch their TED Talk. But believe me, at some point, you get to sit in front of them, and you will meet them face to face. And I think this is the culture that should happen. Don't waste your time meeting people that just waste your days, and try to connect with people that inspire you. And I would say, finally, is be humble. When you start a job, your first job, or when you're doing a master, be humble to learn. And that's with what we see with the millennial phenomena, people that grow up in this world and they are the center of the world, it's very difficult for them to just be humble and learn. I think that's really key. Find the right coaches that coach you to learn. Maybe you will bypass them, maybe you will grow, but I think that's really important. And I will touch on one of the key points because I really love what you mentioned around this education system produced those people that developed AI and that's still developing. And I think it's not just the educational system. I work in healthcare. Healthcare is the same. All the other domains are the same. They are built on a volume economy, how we can address the majority of the population. And some people are the outliers in this volume economy, and that's the people that go that extra mile ahead. I think with this technology, we can shift the economy from being volume economy towards value economy. Even the children that's been on the average, they can receive triggers that can help them along the way to achieve the maximum potential. And the diversity on that is a key point. What you touched on, how can we make STEM education, how can we make maths, programming attractive for girls? That's part of it. That's part of using this technology to provide individualized suggestions, what is the best gonna work for that person. And together, by a big ambition and allowing mistakes along the way, and using this technology to foster that and to give the tools, I think we can achieve a lot more than what we achieved the last 50 years with this generation.
This room is filled with many young people. Turkey is one of the youngest populations in the world, and we are proud of that. The most important thing is that how we are using this population. How are we educating them? When we use the term self-improvement, education system is very important. Education methods or education quality is very important. But when we use the term self-improvement, no matter where you are coming from, what would you suggest to all these young people to improve themselves, to prepare for the future?
I think self-improvement is really key. And I think it's just, I would say every day, let's say, give it 1% extra better or more our best to get to where we are. If we just achieve each day, we do a little bit extra to move to our goals, to meet our targets. They can be personal, they can be professional, but let's put some effort and say we do it. I think it builds that resilience, it builds that discipline in doing your best. I must say, with every advantage, there is a disadvantage. If you are pushing yourself, you're never happy. You will be a person, just like myself, you will be like, it can always be better.
Absolutely.
It can always, but there are some people that are just satisfied with what they have, and that's another quality, okay? So I think we need both in a society. We need both, definitely. But we can, with 1% better each day, we can achieve a lot in a lifetime.
Right.